Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another video, a very not family friendly video. This video is gonna get demonetized. Not even gonna worry about it. It's gonna be completely unfiltered. So get excited. Normally I would only post these videos on my Patreon, link in the description below, but this topic has honestly been one of the most highly requested topics I've ever gotten. So I decided to put it on here. And why? Why has this topic been so highly requested? Well, if you don't know, I just did a 40-day fast where I live streamed the entire thing. So obviously if I was on live stream 24/7, couldn't masturbate, couldn't have sex, so I had to do this thing called semen retention. And people online realized that, and so they were wondering, my experience. So what is semen retention? Well, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure out what semen retention is. It is retaining your semen. It is self-explanatory. It is refraining from allowing semen to exit your body via any mechanism. Now, how is this different than NoFap? NoFap is a very popular idea and practice on YouTube, and it's something that I've been doing for the past, 8 months now? So NoFap, for me, right, there are different branches of NoFap. It's kind of like a religion where there are these different branches, and people are like, no, you gotta do it this way, you gotta do it this way. For me, I just didn't watch porn and I didn't masturbate whatsoever. That's what I did. And I found so many incredible benefits from it. Excessive porn watching and excessive masturbation wreaks havoc on the male physiology. It destroys your dopamine receptors. It makes you desensitized, makes sex not as good. It can make you unable to get an erection. I experienced all those things, from excessive porn watching back in college and masturbation. And, NoFap has had a profound improvement on my sex life, and it's been great. Now, that's different than semen retention. Semen retention is the next level, okay? Semen retention is, you can't have sex at all, or if you do have sex, you're bound to fail. If you're having sex while trying to do semen retention, you're bound to fail eventually, right? Because during semen retention, you can't ejaculate at all. While I was doing NoFap, I was still having sex very frequently, right? So that's the difference. Now, there are benefits to semen retention and NoFap, and apparently, these guys online are saying that semen retention has every benefit under the sun. They basically think that it gives you superpowers. They say that, increase your mental focus, your energy, it's an antidepressant, it improves your sleep. They'll even say it regrows your hair because of the decreased prolactin levels. Every benefit you could think of, people online have said that semen retention does it. Is that true? Well, I'll talk about my experiences and the benefits that I've noticed, and I'll talk about the cons as well, because I do think that there are cons to semen retention. But first of all, I've been doing semen retention 70 days. Yeah, it's been 70 days. I started a couple days before the 40-day fast, and of course I did it throughout the whole 40-day fast. You guys know that and have proved that. And I've still been doing it, I've still been doing it for 3.5 weeks afterwards, or a little bit more than that. So yeah, 70 days. And I will tell you guys the benefits. Let's go over the benefits that I've experienced over these 70 days. So the first thing that I've noticed when I started doing the whole semen retention thing was my sex drive went away. And first of all, a lot of you guys would think that that's negative, You would think, oh man, Connor, your sex drive went away. All these old people are taking drugs to increase their sex drive. Like, yo, Connor, what's up? Well, I felt like my life was so just driven by sex, right? Everything I did on a day-to-day basis was, me trying to get closer to my next sexual encounter, and if I wasn't doing something that was, on that path, it wasn't enjoyable for me. Sex trumped everything. So the little things in life, the little pleasures, they stopped giving me pleasure. And it kind of felt like this mental prison, sex was kind of controlling me. And all of a sudden, after day 7, around day 7 to 10 of semen retention, my sex drive started really, really going down. And for the first time since I was like a kid, I had this lack of sex drive that felt so freeing, right? It felt really, really freeing. And a lot of people would think, yo, Connor, you're going 70 days without, ejaculating. You must be so horny. Sex must be the only thing on your mind. Well, no, it's like the opposite, right? After 7 to 10 days, sex drive really, really went down. And it's like the same thing as fasting. I noticed fasting, it's like the first 3 days you're the hungriest, but then the hunger starts going away. Or even you do the ketogenic diet, you stop craving sugar. So with these kind of addictions, really that's what they are, is addictions. You go a long enough time without them, they start going away. The desire for them starts to go away. And so the desire for sex started really to go away. And I started finding a lot of pleasure out of normal little day-to-day things. I enjoyed going for walks more. I felt more present, It was a really cool spiritual experience. I found I liked watching movies more than I used to. The little things in life, it just seemed so much more enjoyable because my mind wasn't so filled with, thoughts about sex, and it was great. And so that was probably the biggest benefit that I've noticed, that I'm still noticing today. And it's tough because I think that there's gonna end up being a healthy balance to it, because you wanna go your whole life without sex just to have these other pleasures heightened? Well, I don't necessarily think so. I think there's a healthy balance to it. And that's why I'm actually making this video, because I'm ready to kind of, give up the whole semen retention thing. I don't really have a sex drive right now, so I'm not necessarily going to try to break the streak proactively, but I'm not gonna try and keep it up, if that makes sense. But yeah, so what are some other benefits of semen retention that I've noticed? Well, one of the biggest benefits that people have been talking about online, probably the number one, has been reduced social anxiety. And that is the one other benefit that I've really noticed. And you guys are probably like, Connor, what are you talking about? You don't have social anxiety. You go out on the street, take off your shirt, do cringy videos in front of girls. You can't have social anxiety. Well, I do that, but I'm fighting through the anxiety. I still have that anxiety in my head, I still feel that nervousness and uncomfortableness, not as much as I used to, and not enough where it holds me back from engaging in social interactions, but I still have that. But I notice throughout this whole journey, all of a sudden, I care way, way, way less about how I'm perceived by society. I mean, I couldn't care less. Like, I don't really have a filter. I can go out and just be myself and not really care what people think. And it's been amazing. It's been a very freeing experience as well. And I have a theory for this, right? And again, all these semen retention benefits, it's complete bro science and theories, right? Because that's all there is. There've been no real studies on this. So my theory is that from an evolutionary standpoint, remember, we're designed to reproduce and survive. That's it. That's what our bodies want us to do. It's how we evolved from an evolutionary standpoint. So the social anxiety fear stems from, the fear of death. All fears come from the fear of death, right? And in ancient tribal times, if you approached the wrong girl, or if you did something socially uncalibrated, you could be killed by the tribal leader. If it's a tribe leader's girl and you approached her, he'd freaking kill you, right? So social anxiety is a rational anxiety back then. It had its purpose back then. Now it doesn't as much. It is less rational, but it's built into our DNA. So back then, right, in tribal times, say you went a very long time without ejaculating. Well, your body is saying, yo, I'm not reproducing. I haven't reproduced in an extremely long time. My genes aren't getting passed on. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be a little more risky. Yeah, it might increase the chances of me dying by being a little more socially risky, but I need to, right? Because if I don't reproduce, my genes aren't gonna get spread. So that's kind of the theory, right? It's kind of your body being a little more risky because you haven't reproduced in a long time. And so you have more, social courage, because obviously the more socially courageous you are, the higher chances you have of reproducing, right? That's my theory. And that's why I think that's such a widely talked about benefit of semen retention. So those are the main two things. All the increased, it's like the increased pleasure sensitivities of every day-to-day things and decreased social anxiety. So that's what I've experienced. And yeah, it has not been difficult to do the whole semen retention thing whatsoever. It's been extremely easy. A lot of people, they ask me, Connor, what was harder, not ejaculating for 40 days during the 40-day fast, or not eating for the 40 days? Absolutely eating. I had a lot of cravings throughout the 40-day fast, around day 20 or so, but no cravings for sex whatsoever. It was very interesting. But so yeah, the one possible negative of semen retention though comes from this study, right? They did this study, right? And it was about the frequency of ejaculation. And they found that people would peak, their testosterone levels would peak after 7 days of refraining from ejaculation or retaining their semen. But after that, their testosterone levels would drop. So essentially, if you are doing semen retention for over a week, your testosterone levels aren't optimized. But then again, here's the thing, most people's testosterone levels are really not optimized because they're ejaculating a few times a day because they're compulsively masturbating, right? So, not ejaculating at all might be better for your testosterone levels than the average person in society, but overall, a healthy balance is going to be the best. The Taoists, right? There are a lot of Eastern practitioners that I think have the balance down to a T. So Taoists, they would say young, healthy men should ejaculate every 3 days. And they've noticed that if they are sick or if they're lacking energy, they should go a little bit longer without masturbating because they've noticed, or masturbating or sex, they probably don't masturbate at all, but semen retention, retaining their semen. And because they've noticed the incredible benefits from it. So I think that there's a healthy balance, man. I think that there's definitely a healthy balance. I think that's what I'm gonna try and do, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I'm definitely gonna go back to the just pure no fap thing, but I think there's a lot of benefits to having that healthy balance and only ejaculating maybe a few times a week, At least, I think that everyone should at least go through the experience of completely going through the entire refractory period, right? The refractory period is essentially the time that your body kind of reboots after ejaculating, right? And it can last up to like 3 days. Up to 3 days, you can still be a little bit tired. You can be a little lethargic. You can feel the after effects of actually ejaculating. It actually takes a lot of energy out of guys. So I think all guys would benefit from, taking a break from masturbating for a while. Do a little spiritual, semen retention journey and see what happens. Because I think that you'll find that there are a lot of benefits to it. But in the end, I think it's all about a healthy balance. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think, just gonna have a balance. Not gonna try and do the semen retention anymore, but not gonna not try and do the semen retention anymore. And we will see what happens. So I hope this provided some insight to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this at least motivated you to, at least try and stop watching porn and then limit the amount of times you masturbate and see how you feel, because it's made a profound impact on my life. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.